Hello? I have to take a breath sometimes to stop myself from saying but I caught myself, and that's the most important thing. I'm in a strange place, and making a live stream of any sort isn't the most preferable thing to do, but in the insanity, I've seen sanity as to how it's appropriate right now. So I'm going to share, and you're all going to come along with me until you get bored and look at the next post. So it's going to be a really, really weird one, this one. The way I'm talking is totally inappropriate to my life. I suppose there's no real appropriate way to speak, given the level of survival I'm working on. I can't imagine anything but a roar is appropriate. You want to be focused. You want to be grounded. You want to be present with the difficulties going on. But my mental health makes it a challenge each time, and well, it's not too big a challenge to start opening my mouth, given all the work I've done in the past with these videos, preparing myself, that I can still stay grounded somehow, as much as it doesn't feel right, given everything. But given everything, nothing's right, man. Nothing's right. So I find myself in a strange place. Sorry, I'm moving all about. I'm just trying to find a lighter, if that's possible, so I can calm that anxiety of the somewhat displacement of my tone of voice, the way I'm speaking, to the complete insanity of the situation. And smoking does help. I've allowed it to help. Not because of the herbs I smoke, because I smoke herbs, and it's not just hemp CBD, the legal stuff. There's a couple others mixed in that are good for the body. But just as for the anxiety, it calms you. It allows you to focus because you're doing something. It could be anything. You could give me a massage. I was whacking sticks, and I'll be happily able to continue walking around and giving myself some therapy at the same time instead of smoking. But smoking's a bit easier, and if you are smoking good herbs for the body and not the bad stuff, it's a win-win. But my mental health has been stopping me of late, so I don't do it too much. As much as I don't smoke as much as I need to. Can you get that? My mental health is hidden lighter, so I might not even be able to smoke now. But I'm in my car, and that was a bit of an ordeal to get it all out to start with. We're already at 4.5 minutes. But my life has really been difficult, and I'm gonna get out of the car, so the lights might go off. We're going to have a little walk slowly for this one. So, my mental health has been coming for me, and I don't expect anything else from my mental health. That's my mental health's job. But we'll call it opportune timing from life and circumstance. But ultimately, my mental health has taken advantage of a very pressured year. And I found myself in a place I can't believe Andreas Dimitriou, me, I've managed to find myself in. I'm facing eviction, and if anybody knows me, generally I'm quiet. I can't pick the right word, but reclusive, just like my own space. I don't like to disturb people. I don't like arguments. I don't like making karma for myself. And with my mental health and with this year, it's just like it's got to the point where I've accepted it, that's my life, that's Andreas Dimitriou. That's Andreas Dimitriou now, that's me now. So we'll continue a little bit more. And essentially that's my life. Given my observations of humanity and you all, and the way you approach life, and where and what that could possibly mean in terms of psyche and spirituality, I've painted the picture. I know it's not going to be accurate, but that's all I can do as a self-diagnosed autistic. Try and paint a picture of the rest of humanity and keep working at that until I get closer. I thought I hit the nail on the head last year, or got quite close, and then this year blows me away and says, if you thought that was the truth, you got another thing coming. Or at least, you've got to a plateau, and that's all it is, that's a plateau. This is the rest of us. So, what I'm getting at is, in a very direct way, me trying to be honest with myself and applying the same mentality that I've always applied throughout my mental health. I'm looking at my whole life and given what I know of you all, given what I learned from my mental health, how best I can try and manage it, given everything, given myself in and amongst all of that, interactions with people, socialising, politeness, rudeness, and everything else. It's like it's safety again. It's survival. I've lost it, that element. I don't feel safe, and I don't. It's challenging me on a survival level. And that's what I seek, I suppose. That's if I know I've got survival first, and I know I'm safe, I can sort of live. If you know, right, I found my cave. I found a good source of food. Found a good source of firewood. I'm going to be warm. I'm going to be able to nourish myself. I've got family, friends around me and nearby caves. I'm good. I'm set. You know, I can relax my nervous system. I can go for a walk in nature. I can put on the widescreen 52-inch OLED TV in my cave and watch some Big Bang Theory or whatever. But you take away one of those elements, the heat, you take away an element of the food, you take away an element of the shelter. You ain't gonna sit there watching a TV when you're starving. You're gonna be thinking about food or freezing. How can you sit there freezing and focus on anything? So it's put me in that place where I'm trying to get a grip on reality. And I say reality, well, yeah, I mean, I've got a mental health disorder, but at the same time, not only a grip on reality, but a grounding in the world. So I can feel like I've got something to build on, something where, right, at the bare minimum, this is ground level, and safety comes from here. What is it I need to put on top of the ground, so to speak, for me to feel safe again? And it's like more and more elements, more and more elements of life, circumstance. I've never been in trouble with the police before. Not really. I've never really been in trouble with them, but I've had so many interactions with them of late. This is a whole new experience. The system that was my mental health because of the coronavirus is no longer operating in the same way. So I'm having to adapt because I'm autistic and I learn stuff quick, I suppose. And I learn stuff I shouldn't, like how systems work. But because I'm autistic, I don't do well with change. And I suppose there has been a change to it, and I'm totally lost. I'm totally lost how to operate now, and I'm taking on I'm taking on a lot of stress on all levels: physical, mental, emotional, and whatever else. So let's switch it from now. We've talked a bit about where I am. I've expressed a little bit of where I am, and this is for myself. This is so I can express clearly, because my mind isn't 100% clear as it needs to be given the seriousness of the situation. So I'm just expressing, and often I find like a little extra bit that my mind couldn't pick up just in its own merry-go-round. So bring it to a voice, and it's another opportunity to find something. But yeah, let's switch it to the story, which I was going to mix with this because, well, I need to make a video to distract myself, to express, so I can figure out what I'm going to do going forward. But that's why I'm going to be doing this. Right, let's see if I can show you. So I'm going to switch the camera to the rear one now. So this is where I've lived for the last 2 years. It's called St. John's Court. That's one block here. That's another block on the other side, and it extends around the corner there. And there's actually another block on a little bit further down on the other road. But yeah, look, if you see all the works, we've had Thames Water here for ages now. And last year we had a massive flood here. As I went to hospital last year, October, it all flooded. I don't know what it was, but I think it was from up here, from where we are, and it all, I mean, there's not a big gradient on the roads, but there is a gradient, and I think it all basically poured down the road, and a load of houses have been flooded, and it's on the road as well, where they have like basements, they were all flooded, and so it was a bit of a surprise when I came out of hospital to see that. So it's going to be a bit of a weird story. I'm going to intermix lots of little bits of information, and you're going to see why it's a bit weird, but it's weird in an interesting way. So let me show you the next bit. This is a bush in between St John's Court. Now, when I moved here, I wasn't properly set up, and because I have a mental health disorder, my mental health likes to make stuff go missing all the time. I need to be extra prepared, and it's like survival, you know, as I said, you don't take chances. You need a key fob to get into the building. And I've got a mental health disorder, and I look like this, you know, and I'm smiling now, but imagine me troubled, stressed, walking down the street. You ain't gonna want to come near me, and I appreciate that. So I don't ask people for favours, I don't really knock around. I scream all day long anyway, so even if I did ask a neighbour to let me in, chances are they wouldn't. So I need to be prepared. So before my mind could get to key safes and all of that, so I could do it properly, and I simply put my keys in a carrier bag and buried them. Who's gonna know? And I buried them in that bush. Let me show you it again. I buried them in this bush right here. And I knew where it was because I went some strange way. There was a crack or something in the brickwork, and I knew how to find the keys, and they were safe, you know, no trouble. When Thames Water came round, and this was a year ago, to start doing the repairs, it was right here where I buried my keys, and they were buried at that time to fix all of the problems. So it's like checking the reverse beanstalk. I sent energy down somehow, and I think it was around Finsbury Park that they removed a massive fat ball, I think they called it. It was like it clogged up the sewers, it clogged up the water pipes, however it works down there, and maybe it was my keys that were buried. Who knows? Let's go back to talking about my insanity. So life is coming around me, and I'm totally lost what to do. And as I said before, it really does affect me on all levels: emotional, physical, mental, just who knows what else, but those are the ones you feel the most, at least for myself, the ones I can define the most. And what it is I've been shown that whatever I really try, given the situation, I'm just thinking of those elements really first and foremost, trying to do my best to mitigate any unnecessary pain, unnecessary suffering, unnecessary whatever, and try and make a life as good as possible for me. You know, get the cave and food and all of that sorted so I can have a life. And what I'm seeing as a result of everything this year, which is it's beaten me to a new level, and sorry, I'm trying to get the light out of focus here, is that you all, and I mean everybody, not just people who watch this video, but everybody, the system, my mental health, are all really prepared to take those to the absolute. Those levels of suffering, mental, physical, emotional, it's like, we don't care about these stuff, and we're prepared to beat you out of love on these levels. So that, well, I don't know what so that, I don't know the so that, but what I know is from my perspective, it's a case of, it's almost a case like you wish you would die. It's that extreme. It's like life is prepared to put me in a place where it would otherwise make me wish that. So it's not trying to kill me, first and foremost. I don't believe it's trying to kill me, but it's really making me, let go of my attachments, let go of sanity, let go of health and my physical body. And, I was like, how'd you do that, man? How can you let go of those things? I mean, physical attachments to a certain extent, you always find something new. All right, this cave is no longer safe because we've got a wild boar who keeps coming in and breaking the television. Let's go to the next cave. But how'd you do that with a physical body if it's coming for your health? How'd you do that with your mind when that's your operation control center for life and survival? I don't understand. And that's what life has shown me. That's what life has shown me clearly in this instance. That's the situation. And I'm within it. And for the first time, I mean, I'm able to do stuff, and but for the first time, really, I don't have the energy. I've been exhausted by it. And I'm seeing that clearly. Whereas before, I've always tried, I've always had energy, I've always gone, I've always pushed, I've always done this, that, and the other. But at present, I'm unable. I've just like exhausted my reserves, and I'm in the middle of that. And that's what this video is for. I'm trying to state the situation clearly, really state it. And hearing myself helps, I suppose, if my mind isn't working. And my mind is a bit, I don't know, it's just hard to think, so to speak. Nothing necessarily needs to be a mental health disorder. So that's the situation for me. So before we get on to what I can possibly do, let's switch it back to the magic growing roots. So I've expressed before, my belief for life is that the likelihood is I'm in a coma, and that really should demand more energy of me, trying to figure out how to get out of a coma. But life has taken hold at present, and I'm having to focus on life more because I still have to live. I don't know if I'm in this coma for another day or another 100 years, and I have to respect that, and I have to respect life first. But that's what I believe. So, as I said before, I live at St. John's Court. And I'll show you that's the layout. So, there we go. I live in A, UI. That's the one opposite, and I said went round the corner. And C is the one down the road. I'll show you it again. But isn't that a little bit reminiscent of the pyramids in Great Egypt? The layout. You got the King's Pyramid, the big one in the middle. You got the A, which would be, I don't know, the Queen's Pyramid, and C, the other smaller one that's slightly offset. That's what it reminds me of. And coming back to the coma story, I believe I'm in a coma, and if you're in a coma or a near-death experience or something, well, what's it about really? Tibetan Book of the Living and Dying, blah blah blah. I don't really know it, but spiritual concepts you take into account karma. You know, my life has been a literal hell for the last long time, and all of these things make me believe. Well, make me question: am I in the afterlife? And if I'm in the afterlife, what's the process? It's to get over your fears. It's to deal with karma that you've accumulated in your life, innit? And I live in St. John's Court, and this has been a trial for me over the past while, and it still is. So who knows if I'm living in a courthouse at the moment, and the noise I'm putting out on a daily basis and disturbing people and creating more karma for myself it's like karma in reverse. Right, Andreas, you believe this. How much karma can you take on board to not to prove, because I'm not proving anything, I'm just trying to live. But before you give out and you say, like, this is just absolutely wrong, and whatever I'm trying to do, because I know what I'm trying to do, whatever I'm trying to do is no longer worth it. And I've just got to succumb, and I've got to do what I don't want to do. Or whatever else, or whatever the situation would otherwise pertain. And at present, I'm making a lot of noise, and that's always on my mind. And I'm interfering with my neighbours, and that's always on my mind. And these are things that I wouldn't have ever dreamed I would have done, to the extent I'm getting evicted. So the court trial might be ending. Nothing really looks positive. Nothing looks like I'm winning. Nothing feels like I'm winning. I'm not winning. So I'm losing the court trial right now. So I guess I need some immediate help back in the real world for wherever I'm at. You know, if it's if I've got a team of ambulance people around me, if I'm in hospital and the ECG machine has stopped, flatlined or whatever, it's just a bit like that this year. That's what the real world must be like in my mind. And I'm fighting for my life, you know. Right, let's switch back to what I can do. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Given that life keeps wanting to put me in a state where I wish I would die, or have that mindset. And I've got to really figure out a solution to put it in place, like today. And there's a lockdown. So, as you can see, I'm totally at a loss. So what I'll do, I'll finish up the story, and hopefully, I don't know, I'll go back to my car, sit down, get my stuff, and because I've taken the time to express it and hear myself, and I can feel the situation again, which I couldn't before. Maybe I'll just know what to do after taking a break. Who knows? So the rest of the story is Great Pyramids in Giza. The stories I've heard are they're up to 250 million years old. They've been underwater. underseas because of different planetary changes in that time, and for whatever reason we've carbon dated them as a few thousand years old. Who knows how good a job the limestone did on top of that, and who knows how good a job the energy and the spiritual blah 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 that was put on top of the limestone did to delay any carbon dating. But either way, underneath the Great Pyramids, apparently there are different intersecting like honeycomb chambers, where once upon a time apparently the Nile ran closer, or the Nile or a river close to the pyramids. It ran closer, and apparently the water would run underneath in these honeycomb chambers, and apparently it was like it could have been like a power plant for the entire planet. And they've just been decommissioned because they were putting out too much CO2 and we've switched to what's the new one, geothermal or whatever. We've updated spirituality. The other story is that they were initiation chambers, and in the basement, the cellars, the underground, the way to reference them evades me at present, but underground it was like an initiation chamber. It would have been pitch dark. It would have been very hazardous to have to gone into, and that's the other possibility of the Great Pyramids. But it just got me thinking, maybe Thames Water are switching on this Great Pyramid here, and once they finish their works, which they're taking ages for, man, maybe it's gonna send a pulse of energy out for the whole world. So everybody cheer on Thames Water, because I shouted something in regret to my mental health to them yesterday. I wouldn't have behaved like that ordinarily. So if everybody can send out positive energy to Thames Water, and for them to keep up the good work in turning on a new energy power plant. It's a weird one, I know, but hey,